Y'all are about to be upset about Kyrie. The Mavericks, they fell short. Y'all know that by now. But a large reason they fell short is because in the Garden, Kyrie had 12 points. He had 16 points. He had 14 points. In the Garden, Kyrie Irving, he was not the superstar player that he has been known to be, and it really got me thinking. Turn your volumes up because somebody's going to get upset when I say what I'm about to say.
You like that?
Sometimes.
Yeah, he likes
Sometimes. I don't think Kyrie's still a good enough number 2 on a championship team. I was thinking about it, Slick, and you challenged me more than anybody to do my basketball homework. I love having played in the NFL because high key, then you got to study more as it pertains to basketball. Basketball was probably my second true love to track and field, football being my third love, but you got to go back and study. When I prepared to do a basketball show, to do a daily show, I had to really study. I had to go back and watch the docs. I had to go back and watch the tapes. Some were in black and white. I really had to do my homework. I didn't just lean back on, oh, I know this because I played NBA Live in 03 with J. Kidd on the cover. No. I really had to do my homework. Shady, in doing my homework, I realized over the last 10 years or so, the number 2s on championship teams, they're either really good two-way players or they can give you 40 on a moment's notice in a dub. I think about Andrew Wiggins, really good two-way player. I think about Pascal Siakam, good two-way player. I think about Anthony Davis, really good two-way player. I think about a dude like Jamal Murray. We'll focus on him because he was the number 2 on last year's championship team. Y'all do realize that Jamal Murray, the second best player for the Denver Nuggets, severely outplayed Jaylen Brown as it pertains to offensive output, and you could argue in totality output, and he was the second best player on that team, 21, 6, and 10. And I believe it was 50, 40, and 90 shooting. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown had 25 and 5 on what I believe was 40, 20, and 70 shooting. So that was what a number 2 on a championship team currently looks like. The man to your left, he's either the number 2 or the number 1. That's what number 2s on championship teams currently look like. We have to update our modems, update our mindsets, update our mantras. Kyrie Irving is an incredible player offensively, at least he was. Obviously, incredibly is what he can do with the ball in his hands. But, Shady, when I think about it, he's not an elite two-way player, not like Andrew Wiggins, not like Anthony Davis. Obviously, Pascal Siakam just got a bag today. Shout out to him. So he's not an elite two-way player, and he can no longer give you that walking 40-point game that we all think he can. Chris Middleton, game 4, dropped 40. Giannis only had 24, helped the Bucks even up the series 2-2. The Bucks would go on to win the series 4-2. That's what number 2s do these days, family. They put the team on their back when the number 1 ain't there to do it, and we haven't seen Kyrie do it in 7 years now. So I no longer know that he's still good enough. He was good enough. I don't know if he's still good enough.
I disagree with that. Right? And even the guys that you just showed on the diagram here, like other than Anthony Davis and maybe Brown, you tell me you would take them dudes over Kyrie Irving? You think Chris Middleton over Kyrie Irving?
Are you saying Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown.
Did you just name Jaylen Brown as the number 2? I just want to make sure I got my scorecard correct.
What I'm saying is with Acho showed the diagram of all the number 2 players and his opinion. So what I'm saying is Brown, who's up?
Murray was up there.
And
Middleton was up there. AD was up there. Wiggs was up there.
All these other guys, though, right? My Warriors, you telling me Andrew Wiggins you would take before you take Kyrie Irving?
2022 Wiggins,
Man.
Yes, sir. You remember
Jamal Murray? You tell me if you take Jamal Murray off the Nuggets, you put Kyrie Irving there, you don't think they have a better team?
Jamal Murray beat the Los Angeles Lakers.
I'm asking you a question.
I would take Andrew Wiggins, I would take Anthony Davis, and I would take Jamal Murray the last 2 years over Kyrie Irving.
Okay, that's your opinion. I'll just say this, man. I totally disagree with everything you were saying. We got to understand that, Kyrie Irving and Luka, we were just arguing whether they're one of the best backcourts of history in basketball, right? That happened for a reason. A lot of it is Luka and a lot of it is Kyrie. These guys just went to the finals. That did just happen.
It did.
I will say this. I think as I watch more tape on the games from game 1 all the way down to the last one, is that we got to give more credit to Boston for the defense, right? Because they pushed Luka just as well as they pushed Kyrie. Kyrie did not have a good series. He did not. But when you go and get all defensive players like Drew Holiday, that matters, right? Derek White, that happens. Then JB, the way he plays, that happens. So all these different matchups, I got to give them more credit for what they did. I think we're not giving Boston enough credit for how the defense they played. So that's one part. And the second part is, if you take this series away, the other series that Kyrie Irving was playing in, I mean, he almost averaged 50% from the field. Is that good or what is that? So as much as you're trying to tell me that Kyrie Irving is not good enough as a number 2 to win a championship is crazy. He took the freaking Dallas Mavericks to the finals. Like, that did happen.
It did. It did. If we're going to give the Celtics credit for defense, which I think we should, then
We got to.
We have to. Then we got to start giving more credit to defense. Because Kyrie Irving is not an elite defensive player. He borderlines being a good defensive player this year for the first time in his career, and he said he was watching the playoffs last year when he got sent home, and he realized he had to play better defense. So if we got to give credit to defense, then let's not just do it on a macro level. Let's do it on a micro level, too.
But this is crazy to me because you letting one series change the whole view of Kyrie Irving in your eyes. That's what you're doing. No, it's yes, sir, because you took Kyrie Irving and Luka in the best duo matchup.
I did.
And you took that for a reason because you
happened.
have watched with your eyes of what Kyrie Irving has been doing in the playoffs. 7 30-point games, had a 40-point game. Him and Luka this season, the second highest in the history of the game, averaging 60 points together as a backcourt duo. That's why we took them. So we can't sit here and let one series, and yes, Kyrie Irving and Luka both did not shoot the ball well. And yes, they had some wide open. Yes, it was some good defense on both. But we cannot let one series change the way we view Kyrie Irving after all the special stuff that he has done this season, especially in the postseason. Luka and Kyrie Irving were the best duo scoring-wise in the postseason, including JB, including Tatum, including Murray, including all these dudes. They was the best.
Can I ask my question? See, James, the reason I get in so much trouble, along with other reasons, in society, the reason I get in so much trouble in society with everybody, I'm sure y'all hate me at times. Honestly, I don't like me all the time, is because I'm fair. I'm honest. We can't let one series change our opinion of Kyrie. We did in 2016. The shot, that one series, family, it's changed our opinion of Kyrie forever. 2015, he was hurt. 2017, they got beat down 4-1. I went to the game in Cleveland. 2018, he left. He went to Boston. Boston the year before had gone to the conference finals. He goes up to Boston, and he gets hurt. Boston goes to the conference finals. He plays. They lose in the semis. He leaves. They go back to the conference finals. He goes to Brooklyn. He gets swept by Boston. One series has already changed our opinion of Kai. So, James Jones, if you're going to tell me I can't let one series change my opinion of Kai, I'll say fair. But then you can't either. You can't let that 2016 series change your opinion. So let's take out this finals appearance. Let's take out that finals appearance. And then who's Kyrie Irving?
See, for me, I'm not worried about one series, whether he won, whether he balled, whether he didn't ball, whether he lost. I'm looking at Kyrie Irving. Since Kyrie Irving has walked into the NBA, he's been one of the baddest men on the planet. He was one of the baddest men on the Cleveland Cavaliers when they won it and when they went back to it and lost. And he was one of the baddest men in the world this year on the Dallas Mavericks. So we can't let the way he played in this finals, because you was just on this team too with me a week ago. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is Kyrie had a heck of a postseason.
Did he? He had 2 good series, 2 bad series. Don't forget the Thunder series, fam. James, stop being biased, sir. He had 8 games under 30 point, under in the teens. He had 7 games in the 30s. Kyrie Irving was more likely to score in the teens in the postseason than he was to score 30 or more. You can't be biased,
Acho,
big dog.
Kyrie Irving has 7 30-plus point games.
And he had 8 in the teens. There was more likely to score in the teens than he was to score 30. That's just a fact.
I just feel like I feel like we're having a number one argument right now. If you are looking at this man's numbers with what he did and he's the Robin, what we talking about? A man had 7+ 30-point games and a 40-pointer as the Rodman. That's what we say, right? We say Luka's the best. We saying a number 2 player. I think you trying to view Kyrie as the number 1 option.
That's fair. That's
a
fair.
number 2 option with what Kyrie has shown this postseason and this season. Anybody will take that as a number 2 option on your basketball team.
I don't think the Celtics would, Rick Bucher. I don't think the Celtics would.
You make a very compelling point.
I tried.
And Shady and James, you do as well. But let me ask you this. If Kyrie had been a better 2, do they win this championship?
No, they push it. No, they push it to 7.
Yeah.
To 6.
Push it to 6.
At
At least 6.
That boy trying to get to
Yeah, I was just
7.
6 is a lot. We know they push it to 6.
That for me is the issue here, is that it's hard for me to look at Kyrie as the number 2 and say, if only he were a legitimate number 2, then everything would be different. Because the number 1 wasn't good enough as a number 1.
Thank you.
And the number 3, I don't even know who you have as a candidate for that. When it was coming up, it was P.J. Washington looking like that against Minnesota, right?
Yep.
He got